Hey folks, my name's Austin, and this is going to be my review for the Pet Sematary novel, written by Stephen King. I specifically read the audiobook, which was read out loud by Michael C. Hall. Before I get into the book itself, Michael C. Hall did a really good job reading this thing. This is actually the first audiobook I ever read, and I knew who Michael C. Hall was before I started reading this, but I didn't recognize his voice right away, and even after I looked him up, I didn't recognize his name right away. But then, after I looked up his name, I was like, oh, that's Dexter from the hit show Dexter! But yeah, he seriously does an awesome job. Like, if for some reason he needed to be cast as like a 6-year-old girl in a movie, and like there's like no one else that could fill the role, just for some reason Michael C. Hall was the only person on earth who could play this person. He could do it. He could when he read the parts for like the women, the little girls, the little boys, like you could tell it was a grown man reading it, but like it was so believable. It was very well done. Just good job, Michael C. Hall. But getting to Pet Sematary, the book. This is actually the first Stephen King book I attempted to read, and this was way back in middle school, actually. I bought it from, I think, a book fair, or maybe my school library. Somehow I ended up getting it in my house, and I tried reading it, but it just sat in my bathroom so long, and I just couldn't get interested in it. And I think it had something to do where Stephen King is just so descriptive about a lot of things. I had trouble getting really interested. So I didn't read another Stephen King book until just a couple years ago. I read The Shining, and I really liked it. And this is the most recent book I've read or listened to since then, let alone Stephen King book. But I really enjoyed it. It was a good book. I had seen the movies before I read the book too. All three of them. At least I think there's three. If there's more, then I don't know. But I've seen Pet Sematary 1, Pet Sematary 2, and then the remake that they came out with, and I think it was 2019. I really liked all those movies as well, honestly. Like, I know sometimes some people don't like them as much as they do other Stephen King adaptations. But for me, especially the second Pet Sematary, which isn't even based off of a book, they were some of my favorite movies, favorite scary movies growing up. But yeah, the book was awesome. In fact, one of the reasons I really like Stephen King now was actually the reason why I didn't like him in middle school, is because he's so descriptive about things. Like, when he's just describing really average things, like in such detail, when he describes something scary, it makes it that much scarier. I don't want to spoil the book, I guess, in case you haven't read it or seen the movie, which, if you haven't, I do recommend one or the other. Watch the movie or read the book, something. But the basic plot is there's a family that moves to this town in Maine, and they live in this property that also has a pet cemetery in it. And if you bury your animal in this pet cemetery, it'll come back to life, and it's been there since for who knows how long, basically. But that's all I'll tell you right now. One guy's telling the story about when he was a kid, he buried his dog in the pet cemetery, and when the dog came back to life, it was not the same. In the movies, the animals act like really hostile and like aggressive. Not the same in the book. They kind of just act like they're just going through the motions, I guess. He said that like when he gave his dog a bath, it felt like washing a piece of meat. And when the dog licked his cheek, he just felt the cold, dead tongue brush against his skin, and that gave me the chills. And that's like a mild thing. This book gets so dark, and parts of it are like really horrifying. And like I said, that's just a mild example, but highly recommend it. The characters in here, they feel so real. Stephen King does such a good job at making characters and places feel so real. Like the road outside of the family's house, it feels like a character. The pet cemetery feels like a character. I love the book. All around, I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. I did like The Shining better, I would say, when I read it. I'm reading it right now, so I might do a review on that next. But if you like this, let me know. I'm happy to do a review on movies, games, books, like whatever. I don't got a whole lot going on. But yeah, like I said, 7 out of 10, pretty good. I might do a review on The Shining if you guys want to see it, but who knows? Thanks a lot for watching. Yeah, see you next time, if there's a next time.